Hey guys, happy Friday. I guess I should probably turn this a little bit. I had it set up for working, not demoing. So, happy Friday, and we are here to have some fun. So, I'm just turning myself on here so I can see comments because sometimes I can't see them come across over here. So, I think it was last week, maybe the week before, I took the Mothers Are the Best and created this card. And this is just a generic card. It could be for anything. It doesn't have to be for Mother's Day. So I thought that we would take some inspiration from this card today and create a layout. So I pulled a whole pile of stuff. I'm going to use the same color palette, but we're going to swap out the stamp set. I did some pre-stamping because there's a lot going on here. I printed my photographs. So these are some photos that I took on Easter weekend with my daughter. They're Snapchats. So we've got fun, colorful bunny ears on. So I thought they would be perfect for this bright layout. Okay, so I am going to make my desk bigger. There we go. So now you can see a little bit better. So I've cut some pieces out and we're going to play. So the first thing I want to do though is I want to lay down some Distress Oxide ink. We're going to smoosh it down the middle because the whole background is white. I love the bright color combination. Okay, so I'm just going to move these out of my way and I'll talk about what I've done here in a second, but I want to do the smooshing on the back because we're gonna get that to dry. So I love the Distress Oxides also. So it's just going to take a little bit of the white space out of the middle. So I have my two strips just like were reflected in the card, and I'm going to run them down each side of the layout. Okay, so I have my piece of white daisy. I'm going to put my Distress Oxide down. So I picked peacock feathers, and I'm going to just spray it with some water. So I just have some water in one of our spray pen things. Okay, and I know I don't need it on the whole background. I only need it down the middle. So I've got more than enough ink here, I can see, but oh well. So I'm just gonna flip my layout over, which I actually really didn't have to do, but you know I always do that for some reason, no matter what. So I'm just kind of rolling it around in the Distress Oxides. Okay, so just gonna do this end a little bit more, and you can add as much or as little as you want. Okay, so there we go. I think I'm happy with that. So for right now, I'm just gonna pick this up. Oh, the card is so pretty. This is a really good one if you want to go back. I heat embossed all the flowers with white embossing powder and then colored them in with my inks. Okay, I just have to find a surface to put this down on so that I don't end. So this is going to dry really fast because I didn't put a ton on there. Okay, so then this is how this is going to kind of come together. So I have pieces of white daisy underneath, just like how we did the, this is just slightly smaller than the card base because I wanted to lift it up on 3D foam tape and add the twine. I'm doing the same concept here. I'm not going to add twine there. I've got twine on the photos. but I wanted to create the same effect using, and this just kind of makes it so I can make it all even. And I'm also, there's going to be a little bit of a border. So this is 1/2 inch shorter than the full layout. And so I use the same colors. So I have lemonade, I have nectarine, I have raspberry, then I have, it's a really good one, glacier, lagoon, and sapphire. So those are the colors I picked. So we're just going to adhere them down, and you can see here I varied the, I was assembling something, this thin cut. I thought that was perfect. So, and I'm going to show you a little trick with the thin cut. So I varied the widths of the cardstock, and I've embossed some of them to add another texture, because obviously the 12 by 12 layout is bigger than the card, and so I wanted to, I have a little bit more room to play with, and so I just wanted to add a little bit more interest. So I have embossed with the spring embossing folder. I'm pretty sure that's the one. Yeah, the spring embossing folder. A few of the pieces. So I didn't do ones that are side by side. I kind of just did them so that there's some space in between the pieces that are embossed, just to add like one more texture onto my layout. So the thin cut that I used for the title is this one, My Whole Heart, and I used the ballerina glitter paper, and then I have a sapphire background for it. So, and you can see I didn't do these the same. The inside piece is 1/2 inch smaller, I believe, than the outer one, and I did that on purpose. So this one is 4 and this one's only 3.5. And I did that on purpose so that it wouldn't look so much like there were 2 pillars down either side. And if I wanted, I could repeat the smaller one on the inside and add a second layout to this, was kind of my thought. And they would be the narrower ones in the middle, and the 2 wider ones could be on the outside. Okay, and then I also used the border thin cuts, and I cut out with the silver foil paper some borders. I'm going to totally sneeze. Oh, it is, Emmy's looking at me. It's hay fever season has started here, so, and it's beautiful today, so my window is open. So okay, so like I said, I created this piece so it's 1/2 inch smaller than my layout, so that I get that same kind of border effect that I got on the card. So you could do totally any of the, like, so this whole thing is really just cardstock and specialty papers, right? Like there's nothing that is like in the 2-month cycle. So, okay, so then I have 2 photos. They're both 3x4s, right? So I printed them on my one 4x6. And I think this one is going over here. So this mat is just 1/4 inch bigger. And then I made this one 1/8 inch bigger than that one. But I think I'm going to do them kind of offset. We're just going to, I haven't actually decided exactly what's going on here. Okay, so, but here's my title. It's going to go in here. So let's put the other border together. I'll leave the card up here so you can see what we're working off of. And then I have stamped and thin cut out a whole pile of the flowers. So I used the, it's called Count Your Blessings stamp set. And this was from an album retreat. And what they did was they coordinated it with this stamp and thin cut that's from the annual idea book. So this is called Stitched Florals, and it's in the annual. And so it's Z3698, and it gives you then the thin cuts to be able to cut out the flowers, the leaf. I think that's all that you can cut out that we're using today. But they coordinated together. So now I'm just going to add my pieces on my other side here. Just making sure I actually do them in the same order. That's probably important. So you could totally do this same thing too and do like an ombre look instead. Like you could take the sapphire and do full strength sapphire and then do lighter sapphire and then do lagoon and then lighter lagoon and then glacier and then lighter glacier. You could play the same, do the same thing, but create like an ombre effect versus a rainbow effect. So that's just another idea as to how you could use this same concept. Okay, I have to pay attention to my color order. Okay. Boop. Glacier. Then raspberry. Okay, also in here, I'm just going to add a few more stamped images. And I think I'll do that before I add this piece down. So I grabbed off of that same stamp set. Okay, so, but this is kind of how it's going to come together. But so I grabbed off that same stamp set. There's a couple of little ink, distressed ink marks. So I'm going to add those in. I'm just going to grab, so I have black ink and then I have my raspberry ink. I'm just going to throw my Versamat underneath here because then I do not need to worry about the little white stamping insert. Okay, so, and then I grabbed the little butterfly and the little heart. So I'm just going to add some more little stamped images into this background here. So this one I will probably, because it's just like little black ink marks, I will probably add some more in at the end. But I just wanted to lay some down here before I cover everything up. So I'm thinking I need to re-ink my raspberry there. So I'm really just kind of randomly adding them in. I can lay this down just so I kind of know. Okay, I'm probably going to put more in after, but that's a good little start. I just wanted to get some in there before we add this piece down. Okay, so for this Stamp and Thin cut, when you cut it out, the inside piece comes out in pieces. So not the whole word is not attached. So like the L, the O, the V are not attached, but this middle section is attached together. So one thing that I did is I cut it out, and then I cut it out of with the border also. So then it makes it super easy to know where to put your letters back in. So you can just lay this over top and insert your pieces in, and then you know that it's all kind of lined up the way it is. And then that I'll just keep inside my thin cut pocket so I have it for next time. Okay. So like this, I'll just throw in the back there so it's sitting there for next time. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so for this, oh, I should move that up a little bit. I'm going to pop this up on 3D foam tape. And then, so what I did too was I added one color into these. So I did add in some ballerina, just to add a little bit of a lighter pink in there. So I stamped flowers in glacier, raspberry, nectarine, some ballerina, some lemonade. And then I have some smaller sections, and oh, and then I added clover leaves. So we're just going to play and create some clusters, and that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to add my 3D foam tape on my title, and then I'm going to add my photos in, and then we'll start filling in the rest. So pretty simple, but I thought that it would turn out very cute. So like I said, it could easily then also be changed into a double page spread just by mirroring the same thing onto the second page. So I know that this is going to overlap my photo here, so I'm going to make sure that I don't have 3D foam tape right here on the part that's going to overlap my photograph. I'm just going to put it on the rest. And that's what happens when you've got 3 desks areas going with different projects on them. Half my tools are behind me. So I was working on some creative collaboration classes today. So I pulled out, oh, thank you, Deborah. I've also pulled out the dots from the In This Together because they go perfect with this grouping of colors. So the same as how I've reflected them in here, I'll add dots into my layout. And then I also grabbed some silver sequins, and that's what I'm going to use for the middle of some of my flowers. And obviously by changing the color combination, like this one is obviously very bright. And like I said, I was pulling my inspiration from my card from, I don't think it was last week. It might have been the week before. So I looked for photographs, obviously, that were brighter. Okay. So I'm going to add my title in. And then I'm going to tuck my photograph in behind. I might trim this off a little bit. We'll see. So But you could totally do the same thing with subtler colors, different combinations. You could go with like a pastel theme. Okay, so I know I want this about here. Now I'm going to tuck this down. So I'm just being careful with my lines, right? Not to lay one line directly on top of the other so that it doesn't look like it's cut off. So then I'm going to add some floral clusters in down here, I think, and then up here and over here to create the triangle. Like that. There we go. Okay, so like I said, not much of an idea in my head, but I like how it's coming together. So I did mat my photographs on Glacier and then Lemonade to coordinate. And then because the Glacier is actually embossed here, it does stand out. Okay, so then I did do a whole pile of butterflies and I was trying to decide if I will add a butterfly to each stripe somewhere. We're just gonna see here. So I just kind of, I fussy cut them out and I'm just kind of rolling them a little bit with my bone folder. Okay, so we're gonna go with, we'll start with that and see where we're gonna go from here. Okay, so now I'm gonna create 3 little clusters and that is my thought here. So like I said, I have way more flowers than we need, but we will, I'm just literally going to throw them in to each section and keep on adding. And so I don't want the clusters to also be the same size. So I'm going to do my biggest one here, and then this will be my medium sized one, and this will be my smallest one. So I'm going to, and then some of the flowers, so there's a second little snap set, so you can add that on top as a layer or use it as just a small flower. It's totally up to you. And then, like I said, I did do some clover leaves just to give it some green and make it pop. Okay, so let's see here. I'm gonna take a sip of water and see if that helps so my nose stops running. I totally know it doesn't work that way, but I'm not sure how I could blow my nose while I'm living. So, okay, I like that. This stamp set from Album Retreat, anybody in Creative Collaboration already knows it's like one of my favorite things that they did this year. I love it. I love the fact that they coordinated a stamp set with a thin cut from the annual. It is, like I said, one of my favorite things they did this year. And I'm all ready for next weekend for another album retreat. So that is exciting. Okay, so I'm just going to lay some more pieces in, and then I'm going to start adding 3D foam tape and adhering this all because I'm happy with where this is going. I know, it's so bright, Lynn? So there, like I can add just a small one like that by itself. Okay, I want, there we go. And then I'm thinking, okay, so I kind of like this. So now I'm going to, no, so it came as part of the album retreat, but you can buy it. It's available on our websites right now. And it is, so it's D2008 and it's called Count My Blessings. So if it doesn't pop up with the number, you can use this to find it. But but then it coordinates with this one, and this one's from the annual and the stitch florals. So it gives you the thin cut to cut out this flower, this leaf, and then this big flower. So, and then there's great, and then so like I use this butterfly, there's a little heart, and then I use the ink splatters too. I love it. Okay, so let's start gluing stuff down. So I will glue stuff down kind of in layers so that we've got some dimension going on. Sorry, sometimes it takes, you're very welcome. Sometimes it takes a while for the comment to pop up on my screen. So, okay, we might add that guy back in. Okay, because I also still have sequins and dots, right? So I want to start gluing some stuff down here. So I'm just gonna, okay. So this. Okay, and I'm going to play up the silver too, also from the, yes, that's why I did it like this too. So this one is wider and then this one's thinner. And then I was thinking you could add the thinner piece over here and then a thicker on the other side. It would be a great double page spread. It's got tons of possibilities, this one. Maybe we'll come back and do a different color combination and make it into a 2-page spread. Right, we could do a pastel combination. Very easily. Okay. I'm going to just move these just a little bit. Sometimes when I pull things back out, they don't go exactly where I planned for them to go. So actually, I think we'll do this like that. I'm going to add this on top of here. And okay, so I also want to add, I have the little sentiment on here that says count your blessings. Counting my blessings. So I'm just trying to decide. I need to remember that because I set it aside. It's funny, I have the little insides from my title. So, okay, so let's do this cluster. There. And here. Oh, how did you guys miss the card? The card is awesome. I can, if you guys want, I can add the link to the video for the card in the comments after I'm finished. And don't forget, whoever wants the sketch from Wednesday, where I created that 12 by 12 sketch, I'll show it at the end. If you guys comment sketch, I'll send you in the right direction to download that sketch too. So don't let me forget at the end. I'll show you the layout. Well, the two layouts now. I did it once with Party Time, and then I did it with You Are Enough, and it's beautiful. So, and I promised them that because I let you guys vote as to which paper pack to use. So I said you can pick. We'll use either Hillside Cottage, or we will use You Are Enough. And You Are Enough won, but it was super close in the end. So I said I'll come back next week and we'll create the layout with Hillside Cottage. And I already know, I think, which photographs I'm going to use for that. So thank you, Tara. And you could do anything too, right? Just because I've stamped and thin cut these, you could totally pick flowers from one of the Cricut cartridges, or totally use a different stamp set. There's so many possibilities. Thank you, Kathy. Okay, so we're getting there. I just want to put everything in place so that I don't lose it, and then we'll start actually adding and the embellishing in. So, oh, thank you. That's very sweet. It's fun, right? And so simple, really, if you think about it. Not a lot of supplies required. And the color combination, I think, helps it, because the color combination is striking. So, okay, that's not glued down there. See, that's what always happens to me. Sometimes if I'm not careful, when I create clusters and then walk away, then I've forgotten to glue pieces down. Okay, so this, we were putting it on top, maybe here. I don't think that's right, but that's okay. Okay, so I need to decide where I'm going to put this. I kind of actually want it to go right in there. So yeah, so I embossed some of the stripes to give them a different texture. So I did the sapphire, the glacier, and the lemonade. So just add a little bit of variety and texture to them. Thank you. I know, it totally makes me think of summer too. It makes me think of like popsicles or something, this color combination. Yeah, so the reason I did the embossing was to just give it another texture on the background. And and it would also look really nice, like sanded, pulling out the white core if we've done maybe a different color combination. Okay, so let's add some sequins here. Oh, maybe I want to add it right here. Right here. Right there. That's the spot. Okay, guys, cross your fingers that I can do this without mucking up my photo. Okay, I'm going to get a little post-it note though. Just to be on the safe side, I think. Because when I get something in my head that I want it to be on there, I just can't let it go. Okay. Sorry, I'm taking off slowly because it seems to have stuck way more than I was thinking it was going to. Okay, so I like that. Okay, so we can move this out of the way. So let's add some sequins to some of these flowers. And then I have the dots from In This Together. And we'll add some of those. Whew, I can't believe I was not breathing there when I was trying to stamp that. Okay, so because I put the silver on here, I want to play up the silver. So those are the sequins that I'm looking for some of my flower centers. And I just dumped away too many. So I just have my glue dots. And so I'm just looking for the silver. So this is the silver mix. And I'm just going to pull out some of the silver ones and add them onto my glue dots. And then I will put them in the centers of some of the flowers. Glue dots is my preferred method of adding sequins. Okay. I want a white one on there. The second I touched it down, I knew that. There we go. Because the white kind of plays up the ballerina glitter paper too. So there we go. And one more, I think. Of course, when you're looking for them, none of the right ones come up to the top. Okay, we're almost done. So we need to close this up though, because I've had one too many sequin accidents. Okay, so now, so you can see here too on the card, I just kind of sporadically laid in the dots kind of in the same color order, right? Like, so you can see the yellow are down here and then orange, and then this bridged these two. So I'm going to kind of play up that same thing on the layout. So there we go. I need my piercing tool. There we go. Okay, I think we're almost done. There we go. So I want something right here though. Okay, so I think we are done. So there is how that turned out. Okay, so I'll go over again what I did here. So like I said, I started with my theme from my card from before, and I created 2 panels, and I went with the same color combination. So it's Lemonade Nectarine, Raspberry Glacier, Lagoon, and Sapphire. So some of them are embossed to play up another texture. I added the Peacock Feathers Distress Oxide in the middle, and you guys saw how quickly that dried. And then I've kind of sporadically added little bits of other color with stamps from that same stamp set. This is the thin cut, and obviously the name is the same. And then these are, so I just played with the clusters. I totally just used the same color combination for the whole, the sets of clusters. And then we added sequins and the dots to play up the color combination. Thank you. So if you guys missed the sketch earlier this week, I just have to be careful not to put something back into my Distress Oxide that's behind me. So I still have the sketch. It's still available. So this was the layout that I created earlier this week using the sketch. And then this was with the You Are Enough paper. And the week before I had done it with the Party Time. And so next week we will also take it and we'll do the Hillside Cottage. But if you don't have the sketch yet and you want it, if you just comment sketch, I'll send you in the right direction after the video is over. So that is what I have for you guys today. Not bad. I kept it under an hour today. So, like I said, if you don't have the sketch, comment sketch and I'll send you in the right direction to the download. And I hope everybody has a crafty weekend. This weekend is probably going to be quiet here. Apparently we might go into more of a lockdown at the end. Thank you, Lynn. Apparently they're going to announce at 6 p.m. here more restrictions. So I thought we were as locked down as we were going to get again, but for sure, Jackie, I will send you, I'll add in the comments, and I'll add for whoever wanted to actually see the card, I'll add that in the comments too, because I do a ton of video on here. I know that it sometimes gets lost because there's so much happening on the feed. So I will add the card that inspired the layout to the comments, so it'll be easy to find. You can also sometimes, if you're looking for a video in particular, if you jump to my YouTube channel, sometimes it's easier to find because obviously there's less stuff going on. So that's how, so I've kept this piece inside the back of my pocket. So when I go to lay that out again next time, it's super easy to add it all together. Got washi tape attached to everything today for some reason. So, oh, this looks so pretty just sitting here on my screen like this, I have to say. So, like I said, I hope everybody has a crafty weekend, and I hope some of you play with the sketch. And so my plan, like I said, is to come back next week and I'll teach it again with Hillside Cottage. So that is what I have for you guys today. Happy Friday, guys. Bye-bye.